Let's go live. As we said, we're going to delve into this report into veteran suicide. This is the Minister, Matt Keogh, speaking in Canberra.
From the Royal Commission into defence and veteran suicide. And we are committed to a better future for our serving personnel, veterans and families. We will now look into implementing these recommendations that have been made. Unfortunately, the rate of veteran suicide in Australia is a national tragedy, and it is a rate that is significantly higher than across the general Australian population. It is devastating that Australia has lost more serving and former serving personnel to suicide than it has lost through operations over the last 20 years in Afghanistan and Iraq. That's why we strongly supported calls by the family members of those that had taken their lives for the establishment of a Royal Commission looking into defence and veteran suicide, something that the previous government resisted for some time. We recognise the importance and the significance of this report. In the interests of transparency, we have chosen to not sit on this report, but rather to release it at the first available opportunity today, so that everybody can see what the Royal Commission says now needs to be done. And as such, we as a government are only just seeing these recommendations today, now for the first time as well. This report will be confronting reading for members of our Defence Force, veterans and families. No doubt, some of these recommendations will be easier and quicker to implement than others. Having just received the Royal Commission's interim recommendations today, we will be reviewing these recommendations closely and provide a formal government response to each of those recommendations as soon as we are able. It is clear that a number of the recommendations from this interim report call on the government to get on with recommendations that have been the subject of numerous previous reviews into this area. It is vital that these are now addressed as a priority. I'm also happy to say that some of the matters raised in the Royal Commission's interim report are already being addressed by the Department of Defence and the Department of Veterans Affairs, such as increasing the staffing and resources available to the Department of Veterans Affairs to reduce the current claims backlog. This is something that we committed to doing at the election, and as a new government, we are delivering the 500 additional staff to the Department of Veterans Affairs so that we can get through that backlog as soon as possible. Further, we are aware of references in the report to concerns regarding flow of information from agencies to the Royal Commission. The Deputy Prime Minister, the Assistant Minister and I met with the Chief of Defence Force, the Secretary of Defence and the Secretary of Veterans Affairs a few weeks ago to make clear that under this new government, the Royal Commission must be assisted in any way possible to ensure that it can make the most effective recommendations on how to address the scourge of suicide that has plagued our defence personnel, veterans and families. And this was completely accepted. The Albanese government supports the Royal Commission in carrying out its important work to further understand the complex issue of suicide and how we can better reduce the risk for serving and ex-serving members of our Defence Force. All people who put on a uniform and sign up to serve our nation know that they do that, they may make the ultimate sacrifice, leaving their family behind, and they deserve the best support while serving and after they transition to civilian life. This is particularly the case when individuals encounter mental and physical injury. This is a commitment that we owe our defence personnel, veterans and families. We will now consider these recommendations from the Royal Commission in detail and provide a formal government response shortly so that we can get on with the task of saving lives and ensuring a better future for our defence and veteran communities. Can I also just reiterate that I know the tabling of this report and its content will be confronting to some, especially in our defence and veteran communities. And so can I just say that support is always available through serving ADF members and families, an all-hours support line, which is on 1800 628 036. There's also Open Arms Veterans and Families Counselling on 1800 011 046 and LifeLine Australia on 13 11 14. And of course, if a life is in danger, call 000.